The historic village of Dublin lies as a gem amid the hills of New Hampshire, which have recently been shining with particular luster because of the presence of Abdul-Baha, the servant of God. This was the description given by Joseph H. Hannan upon the arrival of Abdul-Baha in Dublin on July 25, 1912. He spent more consecutive days in this community than any other location while visiting the United States. In the summer of 2005, the Dublin Inn was offered as a gift to the American Baha'i community. The National Spiritual Assembly accepted this gift to be used as a place of visitation and meetings. The event included Baha'is from around New England, as well as special guests from Dublin, including selectmen, local historians, and archivists.
We are overjoyed that you have taken it over and that it will be kept properly as a shrine, but also as a historic building. I think the joy in the town hall is tempered by the fact that it's just been taken off the tax roll.
The gathering brought people together to talk about the many individuals who made sacrifices over the years and to share stories of Abdul-Baha's visit to the region. In 1912, Dublin was a long train or carriage ride from Boston. It was a community where the wealthy came in the summer to vacation and attracted leaders of thought and established members of the arts. The elite in society at that time came to breathe the clear air of the mountains and engage in lectures on philosophy, politics, and spirituality. It was into this atmosphere that Abdul-Baha arrived in Dublin. Howard Colby Ives, a Unitarian minister, later to become a Baha'i, in a statement about Abdul-Baha said,
"His life had become a constant submission to every form of hardship and depression. When considered from the material standpoint alone, dungeons and chains had been his lot, torture not seldom, confinement in stocks or any indignity which his heartless jailers might design. How can it be explained that in this environment he not only mingled with these products of wealth and culture with no sign of embarrassment to them or to him, but he literally outshone them in their chosen fields?"
He met with Baha'is and dignitaries who traveled from all corners of the country. He offered talks on subjects ranging from the immortality of the soul, theology, gender equality, industrial justice, poverty, and the coming together of people from the East and West. One Sunday, he was asked to speak at the local Unitarian church. He spoke for 50 minutes on spiritual education. Howard Colby Ives wrote of that day,
"What his subject was I do not recall, nor does a single word of his address remain with me. My memory is all of the quiet New England church, the crowded pews, and Abdul-Baha on the platform. His cream-colored robe, his white hair and beard, his radiant smile and courteous demeanor. And his voice, like a resonant bell of the finest timbre, never loud, but of such a penetrating quality that the walls of the room seemed to vibrate with its music."
The date of his talk has been marked each year for nearly 20 years by the church parishioners retelling his visit.
Kings come here, they would have been served. But this fervor and zeal of the friends would not have appeared for any one of them.
On this Sunday, Erica Toussaint, the great-granddaughter of Mr. Ives, spoke to those gathered.
Just read, where it says, "I recall that as I left the church and joined some of the New York friends who were among the audience, I said to one of them, 'At last I know, never again will I doubt or question.'"
Among the many stories of Abdul-Baha's extraordinary example while visiting this country was his demonstration of racial equality. Even in this atmosphere of the elite, he set the standard. One of these stories was the occasion of his meeting with members of the exclusive Dublin Lake Club, where he spoke about spirituality and the advancement of this new cycle. Later that day, he held a private meeting at Agnes Parsons' boathouse on Dublin Lake. His guests were 28 African Americans who served at the club. He spoke about the essential unity of all races and the goals of this new revelation from God. He used this occasion to announce the upcoming marriage between Louis Gregory, an African American man, and Louisa Matthews, an Englishwoman. This was a marriage blessed by Abdu'l-Baha. After his death, Louis Gregory would be named the first African American to attain to the station of Hand of the Cause of God. One of Abdu'l-Baha's secretaries said that this meeting of the races was little less than a miracle. In fact, the splitting of the moon into two pieces seemed an easier accomplishment in the eyes of the Americans. According to Shoghi Effendi, this meeting was one of the most significant events of Abdu'l-Baha's tour in America.